following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. Welcome into the Tuesday edition of Main Street Sports Today, a Reaction Tuesday, also a Top 5 Tuesday, and on the program we'll be joined by the Markcast Network's own Reid Johnson. It's a top USFL podcast. Opening weekend, our very own Chris Yao was there. We'll talk to Reid about it as well. Chip Walters with his weekly visit on all things MTSU Blue Raiders. And plenty of things going on. UT, Vandy, some news up on West End. The Preds in a playoff hunt to the Grizz in the playoffs. College football recruiting. The Braves, as always, looking at an old friend, starting a series out in L.A. That and so much more on this Tuesday edition of Main Street Sports Today. Now, to the Hall of Famer and Sports Writer of the Year, Mr. Bo Patton with the Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Chris Yao.
Welcome in. It is a Reaction Tuesday. Glad to have you with us here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Top story today, I guess, is the opening serve. The serve.
There you go.
Hey, it works for me.
There you go. I like it.
Well done.
Yeah.
Anchor down with the, and then pull out the thumb, and you've got V for volleyball, Mo.
Stop.
There you go.
They really went all in on this V thing, didn't they?
Scrolling through Twitter as we are wont to do, came across a tweet. Vanderbilt adds volleyball as varsity sport. Little alliteration just for you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, don't get too excited, because we did the math. And basically, unless you are a high school freshman or younger, you'll not be at the net for the black and gold, because they are set to start competition in 25-26, according to this release that's up on the website at vucommodores.com. But they announced today that volleyball will return to Vanderbilt as its 17th varsity sport. They actually participated in the first officially recognized SEC tournament in 1979, discontinued the sport after the 79-80 school year. So
1 year?
Well,
I would assume that they had
SEC.
played it before, 1 year as an SEC member.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Or 1 year of a tournament. Who knows how long they played,
There you
or
go.
how long the SEC played, but they had one tournament.
Details are a bit sketchy.
Undefeated since 1980, baby. Vanderbilt volleyball.
Now, and Chris, in answer to the point that you raised when we were discussing this prior to the show, obviously there are a lot of us, don't take this personally if you're a volleyball person, but there are a lot of us who would have preferred to have seen Vanderbilt add softball.
A different women's sport to be number 17.
Mhm.
But
we get it. I mean, you already got a gym.
I've told you the story about Alabama having a choice between equestrian and rowing. And they were like, what do we have to do to have an equestrian team? Well, we got to build stables and buy horses and buy land. And what do we need for rowing? A boat. So,
And it doesn't have to be a big one either.
Rowing it is. Yeah.
I mean,
But according to the National Federation of State High School Associations, volleyball has the second most participants nationally among girls in high school sports, and is the second most popular high school sport for girls in Tennessee, with nearly 7,000 participants. Now, the most popular, girls soccer or volleyball? Well, basketball, I guess.
I guess it just depends.
Yeah, I would imagine.
As far as participation is concerned, one would think softball, because you have more softball players typically.
Yeah, you would think.
I don't know participation numbers.
Yeah. At the NCAA level, nearly 350 schools currently sponsor Division I varsity programs, now including all 14 members of Southeastern Conference. And once Texas and Oklahoma get here, it'll be 16.
JP?
Yeah, I got a question, and may not know the answer. Something obviously we can look into, and may have a guest to answer that. But
we may have a guest to answer this.
The Title IX numbers. Where does this play into that? Obviously, I guess they've been fine with that. So this is just adding a woman's sport.
I guess they've been fine with that, but I don't think this is necessarily a Title IX.
I don't get that sense either. I was just curious because it's not affecting any other sport on campus from the varsity perspective. This is just adding.
Yeah, that we know of. I mean, no.
Okay.
I'd like to think we would know if it were an issue.
Let's hope.
But yeah. Last year's NCAA Division I championship match between Nebraska and Wisconsin drew a record 1.19 million viewers on ESPN. So, they believe 36-month timeline for implementation offers the program the best chance for sustainable and competitive success, particularly in the SEC. Allows sufficient time to build the infrastructure and resources necessary to support the sport at a championship level. Vanderbilt plans to conduct a national search this fall for a head coach to lead the program. So
there you go.
That's interesting. I'm kind of excited about that. And as JP alluded, hopefully we can get someone on here soon that can speak more in depth to this development.
Absolutely. Hey, we've got a lengthy rundown today, but we do have a guest who is standing by, so we want to go ahead and get to that guest here momentarily. So we will get you the weekend results and today's schedule as quickly as we can on the other side of our guest. Reid Johnson joins us from the Markcast network of podcasts, and looking forward to talking to him about this weekend because it was a lot of fun to watch live and on TV. I'm curious what someone who's not from the area thought about Birmingham and how they produced the USFL. So stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, comes back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone. This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee sports editor, three-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
The other guy in Wham married the best looking girl, Bananarama, so the other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice. Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao alongside Mo Patton, JP Plant on the controls, and we are glad to have you here on this Reaction Tuesday / Top 5 Tuesday, where we give you the best, the most iconic or top sports duos in sports history. That will be in the final segment of today's show, so make sure to stick around for that. Now, over the weekend, I had a chance to get down, see the parents, and spend Easter with my mom and dad. My dad's birthday obviously was Friday, so had a lot of fun. On top of all of that, I got a chance to get to Protective Stadium for the first time and witness the inaugural contest in the new USFL between Birmingham and New Jersey. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. It was a great time. Also in town was Reid Johnson, who is affectionately known as the guy in podcasts for alternative football. CFL, XFL, USFL. He knows it all. And Reid, I'm excited to have you on the show. Thank you for taking some time with us today. We really appreciate it, man.
Is that what they say? I don't know who says that, but hopefully good people say that. Make sure you always say it's the new USFL. It's not the old USFL.
That's right.
New USFL. We got to make sure about that.
Yeah, apparently, because if we don't, they might get sued. Oh, wait. It's already happened.
It's already happened.
Reid, you were in Birmingham this weekend, and I'm just curious, what were your overall thoughts of the way the city handled the event, the overall crowds? Obviously, Sunday was much smaller, but just overall, how did you feel like the new USFL handled its opening weekend?
It's weird. We did a stream last night talking about it too. It seems like a lot of work was made. We're getting the kickoff date. We're getting the April 16th. We're doing the simulcast. We're getting everybody on that. And then, crowds really dropped the next day. I know that weather was a factor in that with thunderstorms and stuff. I have a lot of thoughts about the ticket pricing and how they went about that. But in general, it was really great. Protective Stadium was awesome. We stayed right across the street there at the West End. Really nice setup there with a bunch of bars and restaurants. I kept telling Dorothy, my wife, who was with me, I don't know what this exists for except for the USFL. I mean, it really felt like that was a good fit that way, but we can talk about crowds and being late arriving and early leaving. Interesting crowd due to the ticket sales and pricing and stuff like that.
I would certainly agree. I was one of those who got there early and stayed through and enjoyed the entirety of the game because, obviously I see all of your stuff in the background there. You can see my arena football helmet here. So we kind of have that camaraderie, you and I, about alternative football. And as far as alternative football is concerned, this product seemed to be pretty good considering how quickly it was put together.
Well, yeah, and I don't like that as the narrative, right? Fox has said that a lot too. And US, you have established a timeline. You have a short timeline to save money. You have smaller rosters to save money. And so even the announcers, Joel Klatt, Kurt Menefee were on there, Brock, you were the sidelines and stuff. You get a lot of this. Well, the guys are tired and conditioning and cramps and things like that, which, I am not a professional athlete, right? So I'm not going to speak on, tremendous effort and no taken away from that. But the reason why a lot of that is coming up is because it was a 3-week training camp and because they had one preseason game apiece. There's issues coming out now as well with the footballs and things like that. I don't know if you guys want to get into that or more just focusing on the Birmingham stuff, but a lot of this was self-inflicted timelines that they put on. So I don't particularly like that narrative.
That's
Sorry.
fair. That's fair. You can't create a timeline and then blame that timeline for whatever shortcomings there are with it. Reid Johnson of the Markcast with us here on Main Street Sports today. Reid, as you mentioned, weather a big issue, but at the same time, 3 games in one day on one field. I'm not nearly as familiar with protective field as Chris is, but the logistics of that's got to, and again, that's of their creation as well, but that's got to be a little bit of an issue. I wonder if that's going to hold up going forward.
I mean, it has to, right? That's how they have a couple weekends at Legion Field. I even saw debates online today on Facebook and Twitter. I mean, the reason why they're doing that is Fox has everything set up, right? So it's like we're moving in, we have everything ready to go. We're not repainting the field. We're not moving stuff around. So you're saving money a lot in that way. The couple of weeks that I think Protective's getting ready for the World Games, they're going to have to move stuff to Legion. But again, it's all cost cutting. A lot of the issues that relate to a lot of this can be dialed back to that. They're trying to save, timelines and we don't have to bring in as many camera crews because we just have the one and we have everything set up. I mean, they have tremendous technology and drones and, 52 cameras or whatever they said. It's more than twice what they normally have for broadcast. But a lot of that is because it's living there and they're able to kind of establish it that way.
Is that going to be a problem going forward when they do move to home stadiums? Reid, I mean, in the event that obviously Tampa or New Jersey or Michigan host professional football games, have you maybe over delivered in the first year and now you've got to have 52 cameras in 4 different stadiums or 8 different stadiums in the future
on a week-to-week basis?
Yeah.
That's actually a really good point. I actually hadn't it's interesting you bring that up. I've never even thought about that. And we've obviously talked about the logistics of, leases and setting up stuff in all the different stadiums, and you got to house the players everywhere, right? I mean, they have deals in place with Birmingham to house the players there at reduced cost. They're right next to the stadium. I mean, it's really easy to get everybody around, but again, it's funny because, we exist in this Twitter sphere of we all know what's going on every second of the USFL and the lawsuits and the training and all that stuff. But then you do get a lot of comments yesterday, people thinking that the game was in Tampa or thinking the game was in Pittsburgh. I mean, not realizing a lot of that. And I think that Fox really relied on running those ads for the first weekend and just thought, people are going to pay attention. I mean, you know how it is. I'll post the ratings for the games and a bunch of context to it. And then people will respond, well, what was the ratings for Saturday? You're like, it was literally in the thing I just posted. Like people don't read anymore. It's a really hard getting that.
You're telling us.
Yeah. So I think that they really relied on a lot of that and we'll see. It's a huge jump. I don't think they're going to go all teams in Birmingham to 8 teams out, right? I think originally the plan was to do a 2-year transition, right? Maybe we move 4 teams next year, or we do 2 different hubs, right? Maybe we do a North hub and a South hub. But then you get a lot of matchups the same, the Spring League, which was USFL before this, they did that, and you ended up just having the same teams play each other. I mean, it's nice having 8 teams be able to compete, then you're just playing in your own division the whole time.
It's interesting you mentioned ratings because the Saturday ratings were phenomenal for what I expected. Over 3 million viewers between the two Fox and NBC broadcasts. Sunday, an average of 2.1 during the early game and 770,000. Not great for that late afternoon game, but also a lot going on. Easter dinner for most people across the country and that sort of thing. So that you have to look at this as, look, this is a TV league. This has to be successful on television for Fox to care. And we've seen this story. We've seen the big numbers on week 1, and then it just falls off a cliff from there. Can this be sustained?
It's interesting. I would argue that the 700,000 on USA on Easter Sunday with an hour rain delay was actually probably the most impressive of those ratings, just because you have to remember that's USA. It's a cable network. They were dealing with the thunderstorms. They had another Law and Order. They had to move around. And so, I mean, I would honestly argue that that was probably more respectable that they got 700,000 on USA. That is tremendously impressive. I don't think the 3.1 on both networks on prime time Saturday with both network, Fox had run a million ads about this and talked about it during the NFL and talked about it on NASCAR and talked about it on golf and all these things. Like, that rating was expected. I would have liked to see it higher. I mean, the XFL did that on one network multiple times, on like 2 p.m. on a Sunday and not in prime time with both networks simulcasting it. Imagine if that was just on one network. I don't think you pull 1.5 in each of those networks and suddenly drop it to one network and say, well, then Fox really got 3 million. I mean, that's not how the numbers work. I mean, having the simulcast got them that high number, and it will never be that high again this year. I feel pretty confident about that. Even playoffs and stuff, I just don't see it getting back up to that with the hype.
What were your thoughts, Reid, just in terms of the competitiveness and the level of play? I mean, when you look back over these games, I didn't get to see Tampa Bay and Pittsburgh last night.
Neither.
Unfortunately.
Didn't miss much.
The other 3 games, apparently 17-3 Bandits victory. Congrats to Bruno Reagan, by the way. But each of those first 3 games decided by one possession, basically. Birmingham 28-24 over New Jersey. Houston defeating Michigan 17-12 in the Breakers of New Orleans with a 23-17 win over Philadelphia. But, just whenever you're talking about alternative football, as you and Chris term it, the quality of play becomes a concern. What did you think of what you saw on the field?
I mean, Saturday started really hot. I had a brief chat with Brian Woods, who's the president of football operations there during halftime, just talking about the game. We were kind of in the same area in suites there at the stadium. He seemed really happy, right, that they got off to a hot start. Both teams scored on their first drive. It did lull a little bit. Game ended close. You're always going to get this. It's never going to be the NFL quality out the gate. I mean, even the NFL isn't. Especially when you don't have preseason games or as many as they have in the NFL the last couple of years. The games on Saturday really suffered. I thought the Panthers had a lot of QB issues. A lot was made about Shea Patterson's kind of lack of direction, and then Paxton Lynch, maybe proving why he wasn't what everyone thought he was going to be. There's been a lot of issues that have come out with the actual football that they're playing with. I would attribute a lot of the issues to that, as well as kind of the lack of training camp. I think you have both those 1A and 1B.
So, Reid, explain what's going on with the football, because apparently there is an issue with the chip.
Yeah, so the USFL's big new thing now is they are not using the chains. They're just they're using the chip and laser technology to be able to measure first downs and things like that. And so what they've done is they've added a chip inside the ball. We've had reports out. Pat McAfee picked up on one of them today from I wish I could credit the writer that was talking with some of the players. It's adding about a 4 or 5 ounce weight to the middle of the ball. Not only is it making it harder for the kickers to kick, right? It's a physical item in there that they're kicking. It's issuing that way. It's adding uneven weight to the ball. And so what you're doing is in preseason and practices, they're playing with normal footballs. The USFL has changed the colors a little bit. They painted the ball, but when you come to game day, so that's why we saw a lot of missed field goals. I thought Brian Scott, I was watching the Philadelphia game. He's someone we've tracked through the spring league for years. Didn't seem great in all the throws. And a lot of the stories now are attributing it to that. They can't get a good spiral on the ball for the quarterbacks. And then the kickers, it's not only an uneven weight to kick, but it's actually hurting or making it more challenging to kick the ball as well.
I guess I just thought when they were putting a chip in it that they would like put a chip in each nose of the football. I mean, do we know where the chip is?
It's in the middle. We had Sam Schwartzstein on a couple of weeks ago. He was the gentleman that created the XFL rulebook back in 2020 with his team. They had looked at this as well, and Sam had talked about it because the idea when you put the chip in the ball, like you said, it's not at the nose or either end. It's in the center of the ball. So you're still having to add math and calculations that way to figure out, okay, where is the center of the ball to where is the nose, and adding those calculations. It's such a minute problem in normal NFL. Think of how many times we actually see chains come out in a regular football game, maybe 2 or 3 times at that. Sam talked about that. We have $1 million solution for a problem that you got 2 sticks and rope and you get the same idea. But Fox got a lot of publicity and views off of this. They tweeted the videos from preseason. They had millions of hits showing this technology. And I think they're going to be really hesitant about pulling back or dialing back on that now because of how much they've gotten.
So one thing we need to do is when we're kicking, get regular footballs. That would be be one way to get rid of that.
Well, I mean, you have kicking balls in the NFL, so you could use a ball without a chip for kicking.
Right. I bet the Rose from the New Jersey Generals would certainly like to have a regular football because he struggled on Saturday
assuming
night.
That he's kicking next weekend.
There you go.
Well, but what if you had a kicking ball and then you decided to go for a field goal and it was a fake and then you ran it and then, oh my God, now chaos ensues. We don't know where the ball is. I mean, yes, ideally we would have 2 different whatever, but you have a fake punt, and then next thing you know, where chaos is rained down, and the game is done.
There you go, Reid Johnson of the Markcast here on Main Street Sports today. Reid, thank you so much for taking some time with us. I hope you enjoyed Birmingham. I hope you enjoyed the USFL and continue to do so throughout the rest of the spring. We'll be looking forward to your podcast. Again, if you want to follow him on Twitter, you can see it there on the screen at @_Markcast, MARKCAST. If you're listening on the podcast, make sure to go give him a follow. It's going to be a lot of fun. Reid, thanks so much, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right. We're going to take a quick break here on Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. And when we come back, we will talk about Sunday and some recruiting and other things. So stick around. Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, comes back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
This is The Rundown.
Let's do it.
The Monday Rundown is brought to you by Zion Christian Academy, providing a Christ-centered college prep education at an affordable cost. Call 931-388-5731 or visit zioneagles.org to schedule an appointment for a tour today. It's our Monday, and that's what I'm sticking with. Welcome back to the Rundown here on Main Street Sports today. In high school baseball from previous to today, whenever these were, Christian Community 11-0 winners over Ezel Harding. It was DCA 11-7 over Columbia Academy. Baseball, by the way, these scores. CPA over Franklin 9-5. Dixon County 13-3 winners over Clarksville Northwest. It was East Robertson 7-5 over White House Heritage. Ainsworth and Lipscomb Academy played to a scoreless. I guess weather took them out.
I have no idea. Copy and paste, man.
That's what we got. 0-0, Lipscomb Academy, Ainsworth. Fairview falls to Lakota East from Ohio, 5-3. Grace Christian Franklin, 4-3 over Fairview. Gallatin, 9-2 over Westmoreland. Gallatin also 5-4 over Gordonsville. Hendersonville with a pair of wins. 10-0 over Portland and 7-2 over Rossview. Henry County, 17-0 over Kenwood. It was Portland 9-3 over Joe Burns. Rossview 12-0 over Lebanon. Friendship Christian 13-3 over Middle Tennessee Christian. Mount Juliet falls to McCracken County, Kentucky 8-5. Murfreesboro Central Magnet 9-4 over Weir from West Virginia. Good Pasture 13-1 over Murfreesboro Central Magnet. Tullahoma eking out a 7-6 win over Riverdale. It was Station Camp 14-9 over Knoxville Webb. Upperman 2-0 over Watertown. Hillwood falls to Webb School 6-3. Station Camp 9-4 winners over West. West also fell to Good Pasture 11-1. Warren County 11-1 over Westmoreland. Softball Nolensville 5-3 winners over Macon County. Those were over the weekend. Now Monday scores. In baseball, BGA 2-1 over Providence Christian. Columbia 6-1 over Ravenwood. Good Pasture 11-1 over DCA. John Overton falls to Franklin 7-1. It was Grace Christian Franklin 5-0, shutting out Columbia Academy. Henry County shutting out Rossview 3-0. Eagleville doing the same to Huntland 7-0. Lawrence County 3-2 winners over Tullahoma. Spring Hill falls to Lincoln County 7-2. Loretto 8-6 winners over Giles County. Page 11-1 over Marshall County. Summertown 11-2 over Mount Pleasant. Richland falls to Culleoka 1-0. Station Camp 16-0 over McGavick. Monday scores in softball. Marshall County 9-0 over Columbia. Culleoka shut out by Wayne County 12-0. Davidson Academy 11-1 winners over Friendship Christian. It was Columbia Academy 19-0 over Franklin Road Academy. Giles County falls to West Limestone from Alabama 11-3. Station Camp Big over Hunters Lane 19-0. Perry County by a run 9-8 over Mount Pleasant, and Clarksville 16-1 over West Creek. On the pitch yesterday, Giles County 6-2 winners over Fayetteville. Greenbrier 5-0 over Macon County. White House Heritage 2-0 over White House, and it was Zion Christian 2-1 over Agathos Classical. A battle here in Columbia. In college baseball over the weekend, Tennessee took 2 of 3 from Alabama. Vanderbilt did the same to Florida. MTSU the same to Charlotte. Lipscomb swept UNA in 3 games. Belmont 2 of 3 from Morehead State. Eastern Illinois 2 of 3 from Austin Peay. Division II, Tifton took 3 of 4 from Trevecca. Cumberland swept Lindsey Wilson in a 3-game series. Vol State took 2 from Jackson State, and Columbia State took 2 of 3 from Motlow State. College softball, it was Tennessee sweeping Texas A&M in 3 games over the weekend. Charlotte took 2 of 3 from MTSU. Lipscomb dropped 2 of 3 to Jacksonville State,
including one from Cat Carter on Friday.
Stay cocky. It was Belmont 3-0 in their series over Tennessee Tech. Murray State the same over Tennessee State. Austin Peay 2 of 3 from SEMO. Division II, Trevecca swept in 2 games over Hillsdale, and then also swept by Findlay in a doubleheader as well. Vol State took 2 from Jackson State, and Columbia State and Motlow State split their 2-game series. Major League Baseball, the Braves on Friday with 5-2 wins over the Padres on Saturday as well. Dropped to the Padres 2-1 on Sunday, and then last night the Dodgers 7-4 winners over the Braves. In minor league baseball, the Sounds dropped to the Stripers 2-1, but picked up a pair of wins 10-0 and 3-0. In the NHL, the Preds over the Blackhawks 4-3, but fell to the Blues 8-3. That was on Terry Crisp Day, if I'm not mistaken, on Sunday.
Yeah.
And in the NBA, the T-Wolves took game 1, 130-117. What happened yesterday? Tonight. Game 2 tonight?
You'll see it in the schedule.
Okay. All right.
But
Game
yes.
2 tonight? All right. On today's schedule, as we were just
Nashville,
mentioning-
SC, and San Jose.
Thank you very much.
2-2 tie.
Yeah, 2-2 tie. That's that button. There we go. All right. On the slate today in high school baseball, 4 o'clock start will include Antioch at Cane Ridge, Murfreesboro Central Magnet at Maplewood at 4:15 today. Clarksville will host Springfield at 4:30. These games include MLK and Glencliff. They'll actually play 2. CPA at Lipscomb Academy, MBA hosting Pope John Paul II, DCA at Clarksville Academy, also Davidson Academy and Eazell Harding. Innsworth will welcome Brentwood Academy. Friendship Christian will be a good pasture today. Dixon County travels to Father Ryan, Hunters Lane, hosting Hendersonville. Also at 4:30, Middle Tennessee Christian at University School Nashville. Hillwood hosting Hume Fogg. 5 o'clock first pitch includes BGA at Providence Christian, Franklin Road Christian at Zion Christian, Nashville Christian and Mount Juliet Christian, Santa Fe at Hampshire, East Robertson at Clarksville Northwest. Also at 5:30, including Colioca and Richland. At 6 tonight, it'll be Joe Burns at Trousdale County, Lawrence County at Tullahoma, Loretto at Giles County, Riverdale hosting in-city rival Blackman. Oakland also staying in Murfreesboro, taking on Rockvale. East Hickman at Fairview at 6:15. At 6:30, Clarksville will host Springfield. Hillsboro at Brentwood. Clarksville Northeast welcoming West Creek. Henry County will be at Rossview. Siegel host Independence. Laverne will be at Smyrna. Lincoln County at Spring Hill. Summertown hosting Mount Pleasant. Nolansville at Summit. Other 6:30 starts included Grace Christian Franklin at Columbia Academy. Marshall County at Page. Ravenwood welcoming Columbia. Franklin at John Overton. At 7 tonight, Harpeth at Cheatham County, Beecham, McGavock, Greenbrier, and Montgomery Central, Lebanon and Mount Juliet, Wilson Central, Cookville, Gallatin, Station Camp, Sycamore, and White House Heritage, and Huntland and Eagleville will play today.
Literally every team in our coverage area is playing today.
Like it.
And none of them are playing each other, apparently.
There you go. Softball today, 4 o'clock start, include Glencliff and Mount Juliet Christian. They'll play 2. Antioch at 4:30, hosting Cane Ridge. Also at 4:30, including Harpeth Hall at CPA, DCA, Good Pasture McGavock will be at Gallatin. Innsworth hosting Brentwood Academy. Cannon County will welcome Westmoreland. Father Ryan will be at St. Cecilia Academy. At 5 o'clock, you'll see Santa Fe at Wayne County. Zion Christian and Clarksville Christian will play 2, beginning at 5. Also at 5, Colioca travels down the trace to take on Collinwood this afternoon at 5. West Creek at 5:30 will host Springfield. Independence at Columbia at 5. Webb School at Columbia Academy also at 5. Harpeth at White House Heritage. Middle Tennessee Christian at BGA. Friendship Christian and Eazell Harding. Summertown and Loretto. Davidson Academy and Nashville Christian. Ravenwood and Brentwood, all of those 5 o'clock starts. 5:30 this evening, Dixon County at Henry County, Trousdale County at Joe Burns, Rossview welcomes Clarksville. Page will be at Lincoln County. Today, Station Camp at Beach will be at 6. Also at 6 is Smyrna and Laverne. At 6:30 tonight, Stewart's Creek will be at Eagleville. Lebanon welcomes Green Hill. Oakland will battle Riverdale, and Rockvale hosting Blackman. On the pitch at 5 o'clock, boys soccer, Marshall County at Columbia Academy, Zion Christian at Community, Eazell Harding at Nashville Christian, Siegel welcomes Stewart's Creek, Mount Juliet at Smyrna, all of those 5 o'clock first touch. Spring Hill at Murfreesboro Central Magnet at 5:30. At 6, Lawrence County is at Richland. Also at 6, Rockvale hosting Riverdale, Montgomery Central at East Robertson. Martin Luther King hosting MBA, Creekwood at Springfield, Loretto at Wayne County, and at 7, we'll see Rossview at West Creek. CPA at Nolansville, Oakland hosting Blackman, Tullahoma's at Page, Dixon County at Fairview. CPA will be at Father Ryan. Gallatin welcomes Station Camp. Beach at Hendersonville. Hillwood hosting Green Hill. Wilson Central at Lebanon. Merrill Hyde will host Knowledge Academies. Laverne is at Cookville. Columbia hosting Nolansville. Again, all of those 7 p.m. starts. Sycamore will also be taking on Clarksville Northwest today. College baseball, Tennessee Tech at Vanderbilt. Tonight at 6 on SEC Plus at the Hawk. Belmont is in the Borough to take on the Blue Raiders, 6 p.m. as well. We'll talk to Chip about that. That's on CUSA. That's CUSA.TV. Lipscomb is at Western Kentucky at 5 on Facebook Watch. Southern Illinois at Austin P at 6 on ESPN Plus. In Division II, Trevecca is at Lincoln Memorial at 3 this afternoon. College softball at 2 o'clock. We'll see a doubleheader between TSU and Alabama A&M in Nashville. In the majors, the Braves back at it tonight against the Dodgers. Max Fried against Vanderbilt, former Vanderbilt, Walker Buehler. 9:10 tonight. Oh, it's turning back the clock. It's on TBS tonight. There you go, America's team. Central time for that start, by the way. The Sounds continue their series at the Stripers.
No, that's not true. I'm sorry.
Is that not?
No, it's
what do we
the
got?
Charlotte Knights are at.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry.
Charlotte Knights are in town.
Charlotte Knights are in Nashville. First Rising Park, 6:35 first pitch.
There you go. All right. NHL, the Preds hosting Calgary tonight on Bally Sports South. Also another former Terry Chris team, by the way. And the NBA, Game 2, Minnesota and the Grizzlies in Memphis on Beale Street, 7:30 tonight, NBA TV. And on coming up? Nope. Nothing there?
That's it.
Nothing there to see. Nothing to see here other than the rundown on this Monday/Tuesday edition brought to you by Zion Christian. We'll get Tuesdays tomorrow on Wednesday. That's how it works now. Back to the Hall of Famer and Sports Writer of the Year, Mo Patton, and the Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Christian.
We made it.
He made it.
He made it. Just real quick, congrats to the Preds on their win Saturday. They absolutely stunk it up in the second period.
How do you give up 7
Sunday.
goals in one period?
Well, you start UC Saros back-to-back days, and then you put in Connor Riddich and hope, and it doesn't work.
I mean, I saw one of the local stations had, asked John Hines afterwards, about the thought process behind starting UC back-to-back, and he said, hey, it's 24 plus hours between games. We felt good about it, blah, blah, blah. I don't know.
Glad he felt good about it in the beginning. Didn't work out in the second period. It was great for the first period. But,
it worked until it didn't.
It worked until it didn't. And that's okay. It is what it is. That was going to be a tough game for the Preds to win, to get a win anyway. 1 at St. Louis. 2, back-to-back days. I mean, I don't know, in my opinion, and this is just me, if I were John Hines, I would have played Riddich on Saturday against the lowly Blackhawks and saved UC for Sunday, and hope you could steal a win from the Blackhawks with your backup goalie, and then have your number 1 guy on fresh legs Sunday. But hey, who am I, and what do I know?
Well, the next hockey game you win will be the first.
That's correct.
I mean, yeah.
So I'm just saying, Monday morning, whatever.
Or Tuesday afternoon.
Left winger.
Yeah.
The Grizzlies sucked on Sunday too. It wasn't just, it must have been something in the water, because then again it stopped going east, because Tennessee certainly took back their swagger on Saturday and Sunday against Alabama. So, and also Tennessee football lands the number 1 recruit in the state today. So that fence is getting a little higher around the state if you're Josh Heupel.
Are you referring to Caleb Herring?
I am.
Okay. I didn't realize he was a number 1 recruit, but okay.
Number 1 in the state.
Yeah. Well,
so
I didn't realize he was the number 1 recruit in the state.
I'm
but I mean,
sure that is subjective to whatever
No shade. I
No.
didn't know. I knew who Caleb Herring was. He plays at Riverdale.
Sure.
But I did not realize he was the number one prospect. That's pretty huge.
It is. Again, building that fence.
There you go.
All right, let's take a quick break. We need to talk about the Braves, and there's a lot to talk about. So let's take a break. Come back here on Main Street Sports Today. Stick around. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. The Wordle day yesterday was Flair.
F-L-A.
Just like Rick.
Like Rick.
Just like Rick. And so when I posted my Wordle score to Twitter, I just put woo at the bottom.
Wow.
You know, gotta give some little hints out to my friends. But speaking of flair, Freddie Freeman has a little bit of a flair for the dramatic as he hits his first home run as a Los Angeles Dodger last night against the Atlanta Braves. And anybody who's ever been a fan of the Atlanta Braves, think about Adam Duvall, think about even when Dan Uggla left the Braves. This is almost a given. They're going to be Braves killers. And Freddie Freeman with a solo home run last night in the first inning, just further solidifying that fact.
I just hope we're done with the kumbaya.
We're not. It's not going away.
I mean, him and Ozzie hugging yesterday, you know, Jansen all hugged up with his former teammates, you know, Snit and Kevin Seitzer helping present Freeman with his silver slugger last night. Let's just play ball. He's on the other team.
Well, I don't know. Did you watch the broadcast?
Bits and pieces, but not a bunch. I did. I mean, I thought, well, I won't tell you what I thought Chip was going to do, but Chip sounded like an adolescent calling Freeman's home run.
You know, right after that, he's talking, Well, we want Freddie to do well, but we want the Braves to win the game. No, we don't.
No.
No, we don't. If he is hitting,
If he's doing well, then most likely we're not going to win the game.
Exactly. And
so no.
But I have to talk about last night's game, and I want to talk about because I'm on Twitter most of the night, and Waskari Noah, who was optioned to AAA Gwinnett after last year's hot start and his infamous punch of the wall the bench that it basically has broken him. I mean, he went from one of the hottest pitchers in the league to he's in Gwinnett. So there you go. But didn't start out great. Didn't have a great start to the game, but it wasn't out of hand.
Mm-hmm.
Until Sean Newcomb is asked to come in and do what Sean Newcomb does. And it was enough to get him finally DFA'd. So he has been designated for assignment. But.
And it's like, I posted a tweet over the weekend, I guess. I think the Braves are afraid that he's going to figure it out. And
that's okay.
If he figures it out somewhere else, then fine.
He was never going to figure it out here, though. That's the thing. He was never going to figure it out for Atlanta.
But that 8 2/3 of no-hit ball against the Dodgers in what, 18?
Yes.
I mean, I think that left a mark. I think there was this guy can be a stud. And you can get mesmerized with that, but at some point, somebody's got to realize you are who you are. And I think we've seen enough.
That was the exception, not the rule.
Yeah, apparently.
Here's the thing. When Snicker brought in Sean Newcomb, he essentially conceded the game. He wasn't going to get out of that inning. But the Braves weren't out of the game.
And of all the arms that you could have gone to, thanks to, Bryce Elder and Spencer Strider doing the job that they did in that finale in San Diego.
Yeah.
You had
everybody.
You had a clean bullpen. You had everybody except Strider. And that's the arm that you picked. Not McHugh, not Thornburg, not Metter, not Matzik.
That's the guy.
That's the guy.
That's where I'm struggling with Brian Snicker right now. I'm struggling because it doesn't feel like
you're struggling with World Series championship manager. You're struggling with 2022 National League All-Star manager Brian Snicker. Come on now.
What I'm struggling with is a guy who has the most talent in the league outside of maybe the team they played last night, not managing like his team can win the game. Not managing like they've got to get us out 27 times too. That is a problem.
It's not the only time.
It's not. This is a recurring thing for Brian Snicker. That is my issue with him, is that he is happy to concede. And again, we're not going to win 162 games. I get that. It's fine. But we've also not won a series yet. And by the way, the Cincinnati Reds haven't won a game since they left Atlanta.
That I didn't know.
I mean,
wow.
There's a lot of issues with this Braves team that I think, sometimes you still have to manage talent. And I don't think Snicker has managed much of the talent. He's just kind of done what he does.
And we just keep running Dansby out there.
He's awful. He's awful.
And I don't know. At this point, I'm not even sure what good it's doing Dansby to continue to go out there.
Well, again, this is almost identical to his start of last year.
And the year before.
And the year before. And the year before that. It's almost like, you remember when I told you when I was in high school, my coach told me that I wasn't good as a starter. Like, I was better coming off the bench because I would get too amped up and I needed a chance to calm down. It's almost like the same thing for Dansby, where he gets too amped up for the start of the season and just needs to settle in, and he tries to do too much too early.
And then, see, he has the 2 doubles Sunday against San Diego, and you think, okay, here we go.
He's got it. I mean,
no,
there was a time last year, there was a month-long time last year where he was the best player in the National League. I mean, he was the best player in the National League for a month last year. And that's what you hope you can get out of him, but you're not going to get it on a consistent basis. It's going to be, and we've said this a million times, you either get hot Dansby or cold Dansby. There is no in between. And is it worth it if I can put Arcia out there and get 250 out of him?
Versus 147 or
375.
Right.
I mean,
goodness gracious. Yeah.
Go ahead and let's just go. Okay. Acuna is probably going to be back May 6th. We told you about Sean Newcomb and Huascar Noah. Tukey Toussaint and Dylan Lee have been recalled. So they will be with the team, I guess, today.
I would guess.
In Los Angeles.
I would think you could get from wherever Gwinnett was to.
They were at home.
Yeah. So Atlanta to LA. Yeah, I think they can make that by today. Yeah. This day in Braves history, April 19th, 1944, New York Giants catcher Mel Ott hits the first home run of the National League season and the 464th of his career in a 2-1 win over the Boston Braves. In 1945, Ott became the first National League player to reach the 500 homer milestone. So the Braves were just kind of casual bystanders in this today's day in Braves history. But yeah.
I have trivia tonight, and one of the trivia questions is, who is the only team to win a World Series in 3 different cities? And it is the Braves. They won in Boston, Milwaukee, and Atlanta. They're the only one to do it in 3 different cities, the same franchise.
And they've won 2 in Atlanta.
They have. So, thought that was unique. All right, when we come back, we talk some Blue Raider sports. Chip Walters joins us. So stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint, comes back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Pat, and JP Plant here. Coming to you live from Columbia, Tennessee, the dimple of the universe, Muletown, USA. And joining us on the line is a proud Maury County native, the man, the myth, the legend, the voice of the Blue Raiders, Chip Walters. Chip, what's going on, man?
Oh, not much. I'm up there kind of traipsing around Mr. Patton's home county, doing a little work on the real estate side over in Williamson County. So just getting ready to jump back on 840 and head over to Murfreesboro.
Got you a listing up there, Mr. Walters?
Well, we're working on something. It's not 100% done yet, but there'll be something coming down the pipe here before too long.
At Choose Chip.
At Choose Chip.
Yep. So.
Yep. .net.
.net. There we go.
Hey, one of the things I've been kind of itching to talk to you guys about. I don't know how much you saw about it. Of one of the really cool things that I've had a chance to be around, and that was what happened last Friday at lunchtime on campus. Did you all see the from what went on? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do not. Please enlighten us.
Well, last week sometime, all the student athletes got email, text, however they're on Teamwork. So they connect with them on Teamwork and said, hey, mandatory lunch, meeting, program, whatever, something like that, at noon on Friday, Good Friday, in the Student Union building, and just let you know there'll be an hour-long program. Well,
I did see this.
That's all
okay.
they said.
Continue.
Yeah. And then they get over there, and the doors open, and there are two people there to speak to them, and it was former Blue Raider, current All-Pro Kevin Byard, and
the man with
the
friends in low
up-and-coming
places.
That's right. Mr. Garth Brooks was there.
Okay, so I saw your post on that. I did not realize what the surroundings to that situation were. So do continue.
This was based. This was put on basically by Garth's foundation,
Mm-hmm.
and wherever he does a show, he links up with a local athlete, and they go and they talk to a group of college athletes. I know when he did a show in Orlando, and they went to UCF, and of course, and then what I thought was kind of cool is, he's right in the middle of downtown Nashville, doing his shows. He could have easily gone to wherever, Vandy, TSU, Belmont, Lipscomb, Fisk, you name it, could have gone and spoken and not had to drive 30, 40 minutes. But he called Kevin Byard because, he lives in Nashville. He's kind of a Titans fan, and called Kevin and said, hey, do you think we can do this at your school? So that's how the ball got rolling. And they came in and spent an hour they spoke.
Former
to all,
Oklahoma State track star, Garth Brooks.
Track star, you're exactly.
Now,
I wonder if he was more field.
I think he was more field.
Yeah, track and field star.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But they spoke about and spoke on the level of the student athletes, talking about character, leadership, discipline, attitude, all the things you want to bring to the table to be successful in what you're doing. And I'll tell you, and Garth I talked to a couple of football players, which, the thing is, there was a lot of them, they didn't know who Garth Brooks was, which floors me, but still there were a lot who did and a lot who didn't, but they all knew who KB was. And, but they all said by the time, we might not have known him when he first started, but we sure had him figured out that he was somebody special. But they talked about how that Garth and KB each talked about, the same ideals and the same things about your life, but coming from different perspectives, the music side, and he talked about how he built his career and had to, all those things, those characteristics, had to be there. And Kevin the same way. And KB had the best line of the day. And it blew Garth away. They were talking about pressure and how do you handle pressure, whether you're, in Garth's case, putting a world tour on and going out and making sure you put on the best show possible, or if you're Kevin's case, trying to win a championship, that kind of thing. And KB said, he goes, I've never felt pressure. He goes, to me, you only feel pressure if you're unprepared. And he goes, I try to be the most prepared guy on the field, whether it's for every practice or for every game. He goes, I don't feel pressure because I always make sure I'm prepared. And Garth just was blown away by that.
Makes perfectly good sense. Chip Walters, the voice of the Blue Raiders, with us here on Main Street Sports today. And Chip, like I said, I saw that picture, but I did not recognize the story behind it, but I saw it on your Facebook. And I was tickled by one of the responses because the jersey that Garth Brooks was presented by the MTSU athletic department, the football jersey, was number 12, which was worn back during the mid-'80s by stud running back Vince Hall, who did not waste any time pointing that out on your Facebook page.
That's right. Said, yep, he wanted to be in my jersey. That's right.
They knew what jersey to give him. Yep, absolutely.
That's right. There's been a lot of good number 12s.
Reid
Don that
Blankenship.
number in jersey. Reid Blankenship, the most recent. A lot of quarterbacks have worn it, but the thing, personally for me, I got to spend some time prior to the event. Spent 10 minutes in a room doing some interview stuff with him that will come out later. But that was kind of neat getting to be backstage and talking to him. But it was it's one of those things that you hope those student athletes 20 years down the road, they're coming back for a game. Said, man, I remember over in that building right there, Garth Brooks came and talked to us one day, and Kevin Byard, who was an All-Pro, and that they gave us some pretty good stuff. So I hope that's what it is.
Absolutely. Chip Walters here with us on Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Looks like women's golf holding strong through 2 rounds of the Conference USA Championship. I watched the SEC Championship over the weekend. That was pretty cool. Anything else?
What have you seen? What is today's number? I know yesterday they were 9th, and it looked like they were getting ready to move up a spot or two today, but I haven't seen I haven't jumped on golf stats here in the last hour or so.
Score of 322 in the second round, and they sit at plus 63 heading into the final day.
I believe that is still 9th, according to GoBlueRaiders.com. Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. But, yeah, they're there. The men's tournament's coming up here next week. The track athlete we talked about last week.
Yes.
She had another huge weekend down at Auburn. So
and she was
that's continuing on.
She was co-Conference
Go ahead.
USA Athlete of the Week again this week. Is that right?
I think that's correct.
Yeah.
And looking forward to what she does this coming weekend at the Conference USA meet. So we got that going. You had baseball won another series, had to come from 5-0 down on Saturday to get the win. So they've won 4 straight series, but head to Louisiana Tech this weekend, and that things get a little bit tougher. Softball, they dropped a series to Charlotte, and let's see, tennis finished up. They swept Wichita State to wind up the regular season. Their tournament's coming up soon, and of course, football wound up on Saturday with an open scrimmage and open practice. They didn't scrimmage very much. It was more drills and individual work because they're just right now. They're down about 30 people between graduation and transfer portal that have gone out. They're still going to have about 30 people coming in. So the roster will have some different looks to it, but Nick Vattiato, who was the MVP of the Bahamas Bowl, looked good on Saturday. Chase Cunningham, not quite 100% just yet, but he's moving around. So I think you're in the young man from Fayette Ware, last name Lowe, the quarterback there. He enrolled at Christmas.
Oh yeah.
And so he gives them he was out there. You can tell he's ought to be in senior chemistry this semester. But the one thing about it, boy, he sure is athletic and can move around.
It's good to hear. Big softball game Wednesday. Obviously, anytime Belmont and Middle get together, it's always fun. But I wanted
baseball tonight, Belmont and Middle.
That's right. But I wanted to mention Laura Mueller, the freshman out of Forest. I want you to look there as she is leading the Lady Raiders with a .354 batting average and a slugging percentage of .638, 46 hits, 9 home runs, 2 triples, and 6 doubles. I like that.
Look at her.
Just wanted to give her props because we've been following her since spring fling of last year. But yes, baseball tonight as well, taking on Belmont, and I'm curious who will get to see the bump tonight. So we talked about it earlier. It's on cusa.tv, and looking forward to that one as well.
Yeah, the last time the Middle and Belmont played, it was probably one of the most uncomfortably cold afternoons, evenings I've spent calling a baseball game. The weather's going to be much nicer tonight, and last time out it was Johnny Allstaff that pitched for both sides, and I would expect that's kind of going to be the same this week, as both have big conference series coming up.
Oh, tonight is 80s night. You should go.
I know, because I'm almost 80 now.
He's pointing at me actually, Chip. But yeah, we both are right there. So I'm just gonna ignore it and him. But, yeah.
Hey, well, the best part about 80s night is that they made all the players get rid of their crappy walk-up songs and use a tune from the 80s when music still actually sounded like music.
When they still used instruments to make it.
That's right.
Everybody
exactly
but aha.
Right.
Everybody but aha.
There you go.
That's right. They made the songs then that they sample now to
That's right.
do whatever they do.
That's it.
No doubt. Oh, Chip, man, we appreciate it as always. It's a great time here on Main Street Sports Today on Tuesdays with you. We appreciate you taking some time and looking forward to getting. Hey, we'll get with you off air about any updates on adding to our mini helmet collection, because we have 2 new ones today. For those of you watching at home, we have the Tennessee Titans and a UT helmet have been added to the roster here. So we just got to get that silver and blue
That's right. I will. I will be continuing to work on that. I'll make a phone call as soon as we hang up and see if one of my sources has one for you.
That'll work. Keep us posted.
We appreciate it, man.
All right. See you, boys.
See you later. Let's
That was smooth, by the way, Chris.
It was.
Yeah, well done.
You know,
Got him on the air. Reminded a little
you know,
little ding there.
you
I
got
like that.
you know, we were just updating folks on our set here.
Yep.
That's all we were doing.
Yeah, you hadn't mentioned that yet, so that was good. That was a good time to do it.
I noticed that we had
Added to the
multiplied.
collection.
Yeah. Good stuff.
That's good.
I like the gray Titans helmet.
The
face mask,
Oh,
No, the helmet.
the gray.
that's navy.
It looks gray.
It does kind of okay. I see what you're saying here. It's the metallic navy.
It does have a little metallic.
has a gray kind of
certain light. It could be construed as a grayish.
The
navy.
light that it's in from where I'm sitting.
It certainly does. It looks navy on the screen here, but yeah, if you're looking at it, you're right. It does kind of have that. I wonder if it's because of the cold lighting in here.
I
Could
don't
be the
know.
temperature. Yeah.
Interesting. Anyway, doesn't matter because we're going to talk about iconic sports duos in the next segment. Our top 5 coming at you. Maybe you can find my common theme
Oh boy.
in my 5.
Oh boy.
So stick around. Main Street Sports Today returns after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Mopat and JP Plant here on this Top 5 Tuesday, ready to give you our top 5 sports duos in sports history. Should be a lot of fun. Got to tell you about
which will be followed next week.
Which will be followed next week by most iconic Hollywood duos. Hollywood duos. So should be a lot of fun. It's gonna be great. I have to tell you about our friends at Mid-South 5 Fitness. Alice Steele and the gang, SteelAthletes.com, STEEL Athletes.com. Mid-South 5 Fitness, 2 great locations, one here in Columbia, the other in Franklin. Check out at Steel Athletes on Instagram or SteelAthletes.com. Here we go. Top 5 sports duos. I have a common theme among all of my 5 duos. We'll see how long it takes you to figure out what that common theme is. Mo, we'll let you start this week. You're number 5.
This is duos.
And you're going with a trio.
No. I'm going with 2 people.
He follows the rules, unlike some people in
hello.
this room.
Yeah.
My duo, they are not members of the same team, but
Okay.
but
they are synonymous with one another.
exactly.
I think I know where you're going with this.
You know exactly where I'm going, but I'm going anywhere. Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa.
That is not where I thought you were going.
No, I wouldn't either.
I thought you were going Magic and Bird.
Yep, that's where I thought he was going too.
No, that's a pretty good one, and I'm sure between the 2 of you, you have it on your list. I don't have it on mine, but no.
I've got all teammates on mine.
Yeah,
That's what I came up with first.
Mine are all teammates as well,
For those
but that's okay.
don't remember their chase of
To save baseball.
home runs, yeah, in what 98?
98.
Yeah. So
Save baseball only for Rob Manfred to screw it up.
well, there you go. Left in the wrong hands,
Exactly.
things happen.
Well, and they had a little help.
Well, yeah, but again,
At that time, nobody cared.
That's true.
actually,
yeah.
and to this day, I don't. If we told everybody right now steroids are free reign, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. So, but everybody's got to be able to. It's got to be legal for everybody. I don't want nobody just doing it in secret.
That's like legalizing marijuana.
Exactly. Just let it. It's cool. Just
Yeah,
as long as everybody can do it.
yeah. And you get taxed from it. Yeah. Make
Number
it part
5.
of number 5.
You have 5.
I've got 5.
Awesome.
Let's see. All right, I'll go. The order is still in flux. I'll go Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski.
That's a good one. My number 5 is better than your number 5, though. My number 5 is Manning and Harrison.
Okay. Well, maybe better than my number 5, but because I may have it higher.
I just know that my number 5 is better than your number 5. That's all I'm
My
saying.
number 5 is better than both of your number 5s. but-
I don't know, man. Come on.
My number 4, staying in baseball, these were teammates, Mantle and Maris.
Mantle. and Maris.
Another home run chase.
Look at
Chicks dig the long ball.
him.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. No,
All right.
that's good. That's why he's a Hall of Famer.
That is one of the greatest commercials of all time. Number
JP?
4, JP.
Number 4, Manning and Harrison. See?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
My number 4, Misty May Trainer and Kerry Walsh Jennings,
Ooh.
7-time
Oh.
medalists.
Get you a little beach volleyball.
Beach volleyball.
I like it.
Yeah, my friends at Hayden Beach helping me out there.
Yeah.
Beach volley. It's a fun sport to watch. With the Olympics, that's one I'll always put on. And and I love playing it too. I remember in high school, we would.
If you are a fan of beach volleyball, you can go to Spring Hill to Hayden Beach at the same campus as Hustle Factory
Well, there you go.
and play some beach volleyball.
Well, and now the NCAA championships down in, was it Destin?
Orange Beach.
Orange Beach, yeah.
Gulf Shore. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's fantastic.
That's a good pull. Kudos to you.
Well
Number
done.
3.
My number 3. Woo Pig Suey, Darren McFadden, and Felix Jones.
Wow.
They were almost on my list.
It's a good duo.
Almost on my
I
list.
kind of hated to leave Peyton Hillis off, but
Yeah. I mean, you could have certainly have used that for sure. JP, number 3.
Number 3, going back to the speaking of 80s night at the baseball game, 80s and 90s with this one, Stockton Malone.
Nice. It's a good one.
Pretty damn good duo.
Well, give me your number 3 again.
my number 3, Darren McFadden and Felix Jones.
My common theme
Yeah.
has been a common theme in all but one so far. That's interesting. And it's your number 5. That's the only one that hasn't had it yet.
Huh.
Number 3, Mario Lemieux and Jaromir Jagr. The
Okay.
Penguins, going back to the 90s.
Yeah, that's good. That was a pretty good duo.
This is very interesting. I'm surprised that this theme has carried through, and I'm really curious.
Your
as to how
theme?
far. Yeah, it's carried through with everybody but Brady and Gronk has had a name that starts with M.
That's bizarre. But I'm getting ready to end it because my number 2 is Ernie and Bernie.
Ooh, good
Nice.
Ernie Grunfeld and Bernard King.
That's a really good one.
one. That is a good one, though.
Your number 2, Jake?
Again, that's why you're the Hall of Famer. Number 2, this fits into your thing.
That's funny.
Montana Rice.
They were on my list. They got bumped.
Ooh, wow.
They were close, but they were no cigar.
Okay.
It's a good one because if you're talking, and you've been in football quite a bit. You got 3 footballers.
Yeah.
Here.
Uh-huh.
All about the football over there. My number 2 is Maddox and Glavin. But that's where I thought you were going with the trio earlier. I was like, because
How did you leave Smoke?
Yeah, how did you do that?
because Maddox and Glavin were the 1-2 starters. I know they were righty lefty, and that's why they were the 1-2. But they were the 1-2. So
The way I feel about those is you can't do 2 without the third.
Okay, Maddox is. We all agree Maddox is the best pitcher of the 3.
Yeah.
Glavin is the winner of Game 6. So I will give him that.
And Smoke spent a lengthy amount of time as
A closer.
Well, he was a Hall of Fame both as a starter and a
Well, sure. Yeah.
He's phenomenal. Yeah.
take a pick.
All right.
Anyway, that was my number 2. Number 1.
My number 1, and it kind of pains me because I'm not a huge fan, but I mean, it's inarguable. Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. They're not on my list, and one of the reasons is because they're almost. It's almost
They
too
don't have
easy.
an M in their name?
Michael.
Michael?
I guess you could do that. Yeah. Okay.
Everybody on here has at least one M, but I think the reason I left them off is because of the recency bias of the animosity.
I still don't think you can let that get in the way of what they achieved together on the floor. So,
Sure.
JP?
Yeah, that's my number 1 too. Jordan Pippen.
So,
My number 1, 2 Alabama boys. Never won a championship together, but the 2 of them together were probably athletically the most underrated duo in the history of professional baseball. Willie Mays and Willie McCovey.
It's pretty good.
As far as underrated, and that's why I put them at number 1 because they don't get the just due they deserve.
I want to throw out a quick honorable mention that just came to mind. Shaquille O'Neal and Chris Jackson at LSU.
oh,
That if I'd have thought about it, that they would have made my top 5.
I'll throw another one at you
Yeah.
that probably should have made my top 5. Hank Aaron and Eddie Matthews.
Eddie Matthews. Oh,
Yeah, that's
how could that be left off of yours, Mo?
Oh, yeah, tell me about it.
another
I feel bad.
another great duo that we didn't mention. And this is coach player, but I think the 2 of them together were just otherworldly, and that's Pat Summitt and Candace Parker.
Okay. If you're going to go coach, I guess you got to go Belichick Brady, too.
I think so.
I didn't even think about coach.
I didn't think about coach player either. But yeah, I mean, there are a number that
Don Shula, Dan Marino.
that we could go through.
I'm going to throw one at you
Yeah.
because it kind of it upset me when their coach left and they should have been a Final Four team and weren't. You'll appreciate this. Chantel Anderson and Ashley McElhane.
Oh, yeah.
That was
best post and point guard combo in the country their senior year.
and
Yeah, Chantel was player of the year, wasn't she? In the conference?
Yeah.
All-American. Yep.
I think they lost in the second round.
Oh, yeah.
It's brutal.
Yeah, we could go.
We could go on and on.
Hours of
sports duos, absolutely, no question. It's a really good one. That's why Hollywood duos will be next week, and we'll just keep it going.
I think I've got my list already. Actually,
I'm telling you, it will not take long to put a list together. It will take longer to whittle down to 5.
Hey, who won't be on it? Will and Jada.
and with that.
Oh, let's get out of here. We'll see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Have a great day and come back tomorrow. It's going to be fun on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Have a good one.